Welcome back to the Playbook, your favorite show focused on girls and women's sports. You know, we're trying to be the women-centered version of Sports Center. I am Candace. This is Kay. We had a little hiatus because, you know, sometimes we have a need for a little vacay.
Somebody was jet setting.
You know, just a little bit, a little international. You know, had to get the passport stamped.
Got to.
But it was a much time needed. But coming back, women's sports never ends.
Everything's happening.
Hopefully we have a really good and quick show for you, and I'll preempt you already. I'm a rant at the end of this video.
Oh, yes. Yes.
We got a rant, but we got some good sports topics to cover today. So we're going to start off in the world of soccer with our full court press. Barcelona and Arsenal, they both made it to the Champions League final. That will kick off on May 24th. Our soccer aficionado, give me your pick. Even though I know, because...
And I say this without bias, I promise you. Arsenal just lost 4-2 to Brighton after making it to the Champions League final. You're not beating Barcelona. I'm sorry. You're just not. I'm expecting Barcelona to get 7 goals on Arsenal in the Champions League final.
Not a blowout.
With love. But I will say I love this matchup. It's been a while since we've seen Arsenal in a Champions League final. So it's going to be exciting for them, even just to make it. It's a big moment, but Barcelona's going to show up. Well, and you have Barcelona has the best midfield in the world right now. Aitana, Alexia, Patri, you can't stop it. So
names
when the
goat
is playing like goats, you can't stop it. Yeah. So.
Well, sorry, Arsenal. She already put you down 7-0.
Yeah, maybe that's harsh. 5-0. I'm sorry.
I
gotta go Barcelona.
Yeah. So for our international play, that is Barcelona takes on Arsenal, the Champions League final, May 24th. Listen, Arsenal, I'm gonna support you. You have mine because I'm not gonna have you go down 5-0.
True. And they put in some work on Lyon in that final leg of the semi, so anything can happen, but I'm always bet on Barcelona.
Still in the world of soccer, but still ties into nearly every other women's sports, girls sports. FIFA, obviously the governing head of soccer worldwide, is funding an ACL research in women's soccer. It says amid new challenges. That's a lot of the headline, but how we would call it, we've been around sports for so long. Old challenges.
Yeah, it's just the same old tale.
Same old tale. It looks like London's Kingston University will launch a year-long investigation into a link of women athletes and ACL injuries. As we've stated multiple times, especially on this show, women are 2, 3, sometimes 4 and 5 times more likely to suffer ACL injuries. In the basketball world, a lot of people, obviously, we witnessed Juju Watkins go down. In the WNBA, Jordan Horston, Nika Mule, Georgia Amore, one of these rookies that was coming in this year, has an ACL injury. Katie Lou Samlinson has an ACL injury. And, you know, there's a boatload of soccer players as well who've just been hit with a pretty devastating knee injury. So, it's a common thing in girls and women's sports where it's like, let's find a link with ACL tears, and hopefully they can find something. I read previously that there could be a possible link, or I found the topic interesting on trying to research if there was a link between young women and their cycles and ACL injuries. And, you know, the older I get, the more it's tied into what we have to go through every month. I found it fascinating that perhaps there is a link between the time period that, you know, your muscles, your body is developing, iron is low. Like, I'm making up stuff now, you know, WebMD.
No. Yeah, right. Okay, doctor. Okay, give me a physical therapist.
Right.
But no, I think it's much needed. It's about time. I feel like they've been doing a lot of research on it lately. I'm excited to see, okay, we figure these things out. What's the plan of action? How do we start to prevent this? I'm interested to start seeing that momentum growing and seeing what comes of this research. And it needs to stop. It needs to stop. Every time it hurts you different.
Right.
You know? So
right. I will say
even if it's like not somebody you support, you're just like, it just crushes you anytime you see somebody go down with ACL.
Because it's still a devastating injury. I will say the recovery period, although it's a long time, we have seen a lot of players come back and have extraordinarily successful careers after a major injury like that. So that part of it has gotten the necessary research. Now it's trying to get into look at me trying to pronounce preventive measures to try to prevent these injuries in the first place. On our show on Girls Only Sports, we did an interview with a local physical therapist here in Ohio named Alli King, who breaks down what she believes is the cause of this, gave some good background information. So we'll link this video. Please check it out, especially if you have a younger girl who is in athletics and starting and lifting weights, how to train and things like that. She gives some really good details. So check out that video on Girls Only Sports. Now we're going to press right along and go a little bit track and field. We don't really cover track as much because it's normally deemed an Olympic sport. So we wait every 4 years until the Olympics, and then we highlight our track and field stars. But with the help of a great Olympian, Michael Johnson, and a lot of sponsors, came up with Grand Slam Track, which is essentially a professional track and field league that is kind of run similarly like tennis. They have like 4 majors where a lot of the top track and field athletes go to highlight cities and run competitions. And there's, pools of money that they can win if they get first, second, third, fourth, fifth place. And the reason I highlighted this is because I think this is the next frontier, especially for women track athletes, where it's not just waiting every 4 years to see them to the big stage. And then we're like, well, what happened to them? What have they been doing?
Are they going to be there next time?
Right. And
the in-between is just so...
It's too long. And then who is up and coming, And then some of the greats that we have, what other disciplines are they great at? So at one of these Grand Slam track events, Masai Russell is an American sprinter, hurdler, broke the American record. It's the second fastest time in history in that event. And I'm like, any other time, there wouldn't have been a time or place to do it. You probably would have got... shout out to Flow Track, who does a good job covering the sport, but you would have got a couple of YouTube highlights. But here's this big, grand professional track event that she was able to break that record and get a nice coin while doing it. So shout out to her. And then probably will go down as one of the absolute best ever. Sydney McLaughlin-Laroni, she dominated the 400-meter hurdles, and now it's gotten to the point where in one of these Grand Slam track events, she is going to be competing in possibly the 100 meters and the 100-meter hurdles.
It's scary for you guys. Good luck.
I'm not a jealous person at all. Like, I try not to be a hater, but like, did she just not get
let them have something?
Right.
Yeah, she's effortless with it. It's so effortless. I've seen her running that, and I was just like, yeah, it's just, I'm like, be serious. Like, let's be serious.
And it's so unfair. Like, how do you not break a sweat? Hair perfect, determined, got the perfect stride, and now you're going after, listen, to other competitors. Y'all better not let Sydney McLaughlin dog walk y'all. And
they still gonna be at the start line. That's all I know. It's going to be crazy.
But I am going to be front row center, and we'll have a recap of that to see how she did dropping down to the 100 meters and the 100-meter hurdles. Obviously, she's a 400-meter hurdle specialist, so it'll be interesting to see somebody of her talent try to tackle different events. I just want to, like run a 400 meters as her one time, and then
as her, okay,
as her, and then my hateration will go away. You know what I mean? I just want to do it because it'll probably take me 10 minutes.
I mean, we can get you. We can let you run a 400.
The devil's a lie. No. The hardest track event ever. A full sprint around the track. Never. Full court pressing ahead, and obviously let's stay with women's college basketball with this one. Obviously the big story in the transfer portal was Mylasia Fulwiley, the South Carolina native, decided to leave as South Carolina, and probably with not a lot of surprise to a lot of people. But she has ended up and signed with, I won't say much fanfare, but it was really quick. She's headed over there to LSU.
Yes,
First of
indeed.
all, how do you think about, not only we talked about her leaving South Carolina, but like, what do you think about her signing to a rival?
I don't like it. It's a little messy for me. I'm like, you playing in Dom's face at this point. I don't like
Right,
it.
right.
But if that's what she feels is best for her, me. I'm all about everybody being happy and content with their decision. As long as she's at peace with that decision, I'm happy for her. Look forward to what she can make happen at LSU, and I look forward to that matchup very
Listen,
soon.
listen. We're gonna have to look. Girls only sports. We putting this in overdrive because we gotta be there. Like
You're
we gotta
right.
be there. It's gonna be at LSU this upcoming season. South
Yeah,
Carolina at LSU when they play each other. Ugh. But the only other thing I want to
you gotta
mention
be there.
too with this signing deal is, you remember earlier in the women's college basketball season, they were hyping USC versus USC, so
Mm-hmm.
Southern California versus South Carolina, and the big matchup was to see Juju versus Malaysia. But as the world turns,
Mm-hmm.
we won't get that matchup at all next year. And in, I guess, our consolation prize is getting another LSU South Carolina and all that
Battle.
comes with that.
Yes.
We're gonna stay in the drama a little bit because there was another
Can't just let a
transfer.
mess.
I love the mess. There was another transfer that happened. Olivia Miles left Notre Dame, has signed with TCU, but during a WNBA preseason game, looks like Olivia Miles and Hannah Hidalgo had a little run in. It looked, I will say, it was respectful conversation, but
I don't know.
Hannah
That
had
second
that.
angle, I was like, ooh.
Hannah had that,
Because when I
finger
first seen
point.
it, I was like, okay, like they just having a chat. But then I seen that second angle, and I was like, oh, Hannah looked like she trying to do something.
It looked like she
I was
wanted
a
some
little scared for
answers.
her. Yeah,
That's what it looked like.
she had some questions. That's it.
That finger
Just the
point
chat.
was like a little pressing
Say
going on. But
you,
did you see
right?
the security guard kind of slide in at the end, like, oh, the temperature
Yeah,
started to
he
rise
our
a little
biggest
bit?
hater for real. He's the biggest hater. Sir, we was watching that.
We
This is
sure
must see
did.
TV.
Listen, shout out to women's college basketball for bringing all the drama. So I don't know if it's on the schedule next year. I should have done my research, but please, ESPN, somebody, some classic, somebody do a special TCU versus Notre Dame. We need that matchup. And Notre Dame, I'm gonna need you to get a lot more players because it looks like you got about 3, 4, 5 of them only on your roster. So we'll
Right.
save that
They're
conversation.
gonna have open
until
tryouts.
Oh, it wouldn't be
You
that
never
funny
know.
unless it was true.
I was
They
saying,
for real
listen,
gonna need
TCU
it.
did it. They brought in some ballers.
They sure did. Like random people
Yeah.
on campus who won like 3 state championships.
Yeah, you 6'2", you think you can hoop? Like, come try out.
Facts. That was our full court press. Now we're gonna go into our She Did That statement segment. So it's a collective of people. Now I am not a fashion girly. We are not fashion girlies, but we are couch surfers, and we're gonna be judging these Met Gala looks.
Right.
Shout
Yeah.
out to all of the women sports stars who are merging culture and sports in new ways. And so I think it was a really good thing to see a lot of our faves in the women's sports world make their presence known and their debut. So one of the hosts, I guess they have a whole bunch of chairmen for the different Met Galas. Or galas, was Angel Reese, who seems to be everywhere all at once. She was at the Met Gala yesterday. We're recording this on a Tuesday. They have a preseason game and she's playing in it tonight.
Angel gonna keep that schedule booked and busy.
Put the gas in the jet.
Listen,
I thought
right at this point.
I have no idea what the theme was. Like I said, we are not fashion girlies. We are hoodies and sneakers. But Angel Reese looked good.
Angel Reese looked good. Yeah,
She
she did her.
Yes. Jacquel Jones.
Put that on.
Yes.
She put that on. I'll say I think
She did
Jonquil
it.
was my favorite women's sports girly that was there.
Oh,
I
really?
was feeling yeah,
Okay.
Jonquil was my favorite. Jonquil was my
Okay.
favorite.
Jonquil
Yeah.
had it worked out.
Mhm.
Flau'jae was there.
Flau'jae looked amazing as
She
well.
sure did. Flau'jae be putting it on, so she
Mhm.
gets a top notch from us too.
It was giving very lady, classy dame. I was like, okay.
What about the legend that is Venus Williams?
Mhm.
It
It
gave
was
tennis.
giving. It gave tennis match. Yeah,
It
it was
gave
giving. I'm about
tennis.
to hit the court, but love Venus, love the
Yes.
girl.
We don't say anything bad about the legends. It gave
No,
tennis.
ma'am.
Shout out
No,
to the
ma'am.
legends. Sabrina Nescu.
First glance, I was like, no. Second look, I was like, okay, like it's cute. I like it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think she did
Yeah,
it. I think, and she was comfortable and she was herself. I like that look. Shout out to
yeah,
Sabrina.
yeah.
Sha'Carri Richardson. It was a little different.
It was different. It was a choice. I didn't like the colors. I don't necessarily hate the outfit. I don't like the colors, and I didn't like the eyeshadow.
Dang,
Sorry.
not you going in. Not you
I'm sorry,
need to be on Fashion Police.
I'm sorry.
But we
I
love
used to love
Sha'Carri.
that show as a kid. We do love
Once she get
Sha'Carri.
back on the track.
I don't
But shout
want
out
no
to
smoke.
Sha'Carri. Right.
Yeah.
The other GOAT, the legend herself, Serena Williams, always at the Met Gala.
Always there.
I like the jacket. Or the coat, or, the train.
Yeah, that's about where I'm at.
Oh, we gonna get judged on this segment. They're gonna be like, we judging people and we don't know how to dress.
No. I'm not judging. I'm just saying. I'm just giving my opinion, like everybody else has. It was what it was. It was, it was Serena. I will say this: it felt very Serena to me.
It felt very Serena. It felt very
her
Serena.
vibe. So,
and then my pick, Brianna Stewart, was given Madam.
That's your favorite?
Yes, because Stewie can be out there with the fashions. I thought she put this outfit together, if you call it that. She had the nice little swirl baby hair coming down.
I was gonna say, I think what I don't like is the hair. I don't like the hair.
You don't like the little, okay.
No, so I feel like if I look at this outfit and I cover her face and the hat, I don't mind it.
Okay.
But when I look at it as a whole, I don't like it.
Okay.
I think it might be the hair.
You know what? We're going to have a special segment on Girls Only Sports during the W season about all the fashion fits, because Kayla is undercover fashion police, and we're going to run it that way.
Yeah.
But shout out to all the girlies. I shouldn't call them girlies. All these women showing up at at Gala with the fashions. We love it because, it was a time where it was Serena, maybe Venus was there, Maria Sharapova, and that maybe a soccer player or two,
right?
Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe, and that was it. Yeah. Another she did that we want to shout out really quick is Katie Ledecky, obviously the swimming legend icon who breaks all the long distance world records. Broke another one of her own world records in the 800-meter freestyle. This is another thing. Does. With swimming, similarly to track and field, I hope there is, more interest to maybe not a professional league, but more coverage of like a world championship or big meets where there's actually better coverage to show her actually breaking another one of these world records, where we don't just have to wait every 4 years to see Katie Ledecky do what she does. And that is
what she does, right?
That is dominate. And now for our X's and O's segment, we're going to try to tie all of this of what we're going to talk about into one, because there's a few things going on in women's sports that I think we should be able to discuss. And that is obviously with the growth of women's professional sports, with the NWSL, with the WNBA. There's a whole bunch of teams, but even more players. And as the world turns, there is only a certain amount of spots currently, I think, in the WNBA. If it's not 144, it may be 156 at total, with the Valkyries being added. And then with the NWSL, they've obviously been around for a minute. They have way more expansion franchises. However, they have a whole host of players that need somewhere to train, to grow, to develop not only into bringing them in to be prepared to play in the NWSL, but also to feed into the U.S. Women's National Soccer Team. And so that brings up to our point in X's and O's, is that the NWSL has submitted a proposal to U.S. Soccer to create a Division II league, which I akin it to possibly like a G League, how the NBA has, but it will be a tier below their obviously Premier League, where all of the professionals are, that essentially will allow every team to have an affiliate second tier team where they can develop players, keep them like with their trainers, keep them in their development, all of that good stuff. So the plan is for the league to launch in 2026. It'll be under the NWSL, and it'll be the first division league since the inception of the NWSL as well. So before I can broaden the conversation around it, what do you think about the idea of the NWSL creating a Division II?
I love this ideal. It's like it just gives you like that kind of like grassroots kind of feeling, like I think there's a lot of new wave of young players joining the NWSL, which I'm not a huge fan of. Mm-hmm. But also, if that's what you decide on, that's what your parents decide to allow you to do, mm-hmm. go for it. Mm-hmm. But I think having those options of a Division II league, it can help develop a player. You're not in a professional game. You're not in that necessarily like that pressure and that look.
Mm-hmm. It's not as high stakes.
And then also with the elimination of the college draft, I think that also gives people a different avenue, and it gives more options once you do finish your collegiate career, because you don't have the draft, so you don't necessarily know that you're going to get picked up by a team, but it just gives people a place to develop, and I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Next up, regulation. Let's get another league.
Right. And to tie that into, obviously, we're about to head into the WNBA season. The WNBA preseason is happening. And as we try to give all of the new fans who come into the league with the new players who bring new excitement, is that a lot of these players are going to be cut. They are talented. They deserve to be on rosters. Obviously, we've seen them for the last 4 years in college. However, making the WNBA roster is just extraordinarily difficult. We already seen Cheyenne Sellers, who was a star at Maryland. She got cut by the Valkyries. She has gotten picked up by Atlanta. We've seen Bree Hall, who was a starter down there with Coach Staley at South Carolina. She had a really good game with the Fever. However, she just got cut. There's going to be a lot of big name players and talents who just won't be able to find space on WNBA rosters. So I'll pose a question to you again, is do you think it's time for, what do you think? Do you think it's time for the WNBA to possibly create a, and I'm smiling because we were talking about the W here, a Division II or a G League affiliate comparatively to what the NBA does, or other options like expanded rosters? Obviously, there's expansion teams, but this idea of creating a league, a developmental league under the WNBA, where these players can go and train in a professional setting, just awaiting the opportunity to perhaps make a WNBA roster.
Yeah, I think it's well past the time that the W got this. I think and especially now when you do have such an influx of talent, you have so many talented players, and to see players like Bree Hall getting cut, and then what's next, So
after one preseason game,
I think it's time. Huh?
I said after one preseason game. And Cheyenne Sellers didn't even get to play. Cheyenne
didn't even get a game. She didn't even get a game. So it's a cutthroat world out there in the W with them making a roster. So I think that would only benefit them, and also you get to keep players in the clip. Like you never know injury. Like we talk about all the time. Knock on wood, we don't want to see anybody injured, but it happens. But if you have somebody that you still have under that umbrella of your team, you could just call them up. So. Right.
I'm with you. I think it's high time.
I think it's time.
And I think as we see more teams start building these multi-million-dollar practice facilities and things like that, they have the ability to keep these players, multiple players within their system, to allow them time to develop, where they don't have to make instant decisions within a couple of months of whether or not they need to go overseas. And then there's not necessarily a good transition, that even if there is an option or opportunity, if a player goes down, to come join the W, it's this weird, oh, I'm playing overseas with this contract, now I have to break it, now I have to fly back, do I have the opportunity? You have to make a decision whether or not you want to make money, or do you want to have the opportunity to play in the WNBA, who, and credit Breanna Stewart and Nafisa Collier as well, who created Rival, is another avenue or venue for players. But that's for top players. We're looking for a space where all of those players who, I think it was said within the next couple of years, nearly 600 players possibly could be cut. And trying to make WNBA rosters, and we just need more space and more options for a lot of these players to go. Before we get out of here on X's and O's, though, I got a rant.
Go ahead. Let's have it, girl.
I've been trying to be respectful of new fans. I've been trying to be respectful of all the new attention to women's basketball. I've been trying my best to be respectful. Nobody was pressing for women's basketball players to have their own shoe. I'm gonna give Girls Only Sports our kudos. We did a full show where we broke down every sneaker. I did it with my sneakerhead friend Khadija Islam. Please check out that show. It's really long, but we broke down every women's professional basketball player who had their own shoe, because that is what we've been in it. So today, A'ja Wilson's shoe comes out. It has the nerve to sell out. What was it, 2 minutes, 3 minutes? Listen, I'm going to need y'all new fans to go somewhere. I think there should have been 2 tiers.
Platinum tier. Day 1 tier.
Day 1 tiers. If you have been a fan, like if you have evidence that you bought a jersey in 1997 when the WNBA got released, you should have been put in this tier to buy the A1.
I think you just need to be quicker. It's
quicker?
Hater.
Girl, I signed. You couldn't get no quicker. It wasn't even 10 o'clock yet. It was 9:59, and I clicked the button, and it said sold out.
Oh, you clicked too soon. It said sold out. To be fair, when I clicked mine, it let me click my size and everything and go to the cart, and then when I tried to check out, it was like, oh, this item's no longer available. Okay.
That's what I did. It came up, I hit my size, I hit continue, and it's just like checking bots, checking this, checking that. And I'm like, oh, I'm in it, because I hit the button.
Same. Sold
out. And A'ja, respectfully, you've been giving them pink shoes away from any to everybody. We met your color, sis. I'm gonna need you to send some shoes over here to Girls Only Sports, because if you're giving them away for free, we should get a pair, because a lot of the day ones we got X'd out.
Listen, and then they're gonna resell for buku, like,
and that's the problem. See, here I go about the rant again, but I'm gonna keep it short. It's the resellers too. Like, these were the people that said, no disrespect, A'ja didn't have no motion. Didn't nobody want to buy her shoe? Why are they making a big fuss about her not having a shoe? Oh, you sure about to sell them pink A1s for $350?
Right.
$400?
Yeah. But let's be positive about this. Can we talk about the marketing?
Okay. Let me put my glasses back on.
Chef's kiss. It was beautiful. Oh my God. I cried.
I
cried.
Shout out to
that was so
the
amazing.
A'ja logo beads. I think the first commercial that came out where they did the the patty
A'ja
cake
on top. Oh, it was so cute. It's been in my head since I seen it.
1, 2, and 3. Her parents were in there. Don Staley was in there. I think a picture of her grandparents were 2 pictures were posted in the church. That commercial fit A'ja, and then Malia Obama directed the other one where A'ja's sitting with the little girl being taught the hand chant. So you're right. We should look, although we missed out on the shoe. We want to congratulate A'ja on
Shout out to
the
A'ja.
marketing,
The
All of the
success clearly of the
colorways,
shoe.
the success. I think this is just one of those things. Obviously, there's going to be more players who have their own signature shoes and marketing campaigns. But for a player, in my opinion, who has obviously in her professional career has built a Hall of Fame resume as a professional. Obviously, we know what she did at South Carolina, but she's been in the MVP race probably 7 or 6 of the 8 years she's been in the WNBA. Everybody knows her accolades. And for that to match all the interest and excitement for her shoe to match, shout out to you, Asia. But slide us a pair of those shoes. I know you have a pearl pair coming out. I know you have a blue pair coming out. You have a black pair coming out too. You have another pink and black pair coming out. Like, our colors are the same. Can we get some A1s? I'm
not saying you stole our color palette, Asia, but we love you even if you did.
It's giving twins. That's what it's giving.
It is.
It is. But
shout out to Asia. That's dope. I'm proud of her. I'm happy.
It sure is. But that is our show today. Please, again, follow us on all social media platforms: Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, our website. That's where we're going to get up and running, girlsonlysportsnetwork.com. I am Candace. This is Kay. Please stay with us. Next episode, we're going to have our WNBA season preview. We're going to break down all of who we think is going to be MVP, champions, all that stuff. And hopefully it won't be as dramatic as it was last season. That is our show. Once again, this is Girls Only Sports.
So let's go through this one more time.
All right.
Okay.
Asia Wilson's on top. Can't take her spot. She's a real one through.
Okay.
Girl, let me show you how a professional does.
Okay, bro, go ahead, bro.